always in French. I fucking hate it.
Because they're a French company.
But why? Why? No, I want to. What if I just do Dutch? If I put in NL, does that work? Yay! Now it's in Dutch.
Well, at least you got your translation now, and I think we are live right now.
We alive?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and sadly without Luke.
Oh.
Womp womp.
Luke, get your ass in here.
Now we tried waking up Luke. Also, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, this is weird.
It's not live yet. I can find the link.
No, yeah, I'll send you the link. But apparently the Discord icons aren't showing right now. I don't know why.
What did you do?
I don't know. I think something broke. Something broke for for OBS.
No. Okay.
Yeah, but they can hear us, but they just can't see the Discord icons. Like typically.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna make sure to just tweet this out real quick. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, how's your day been going, my friend? What you been up to these past 2 weeks?
Well, yeah, it's more like 4 weeks. I mean, we had a show 4 weeks ago, I think it was. It's been going great. Playing a lot of games. Having a lot of games that came out. Yeah. And also new season of Diablo. Just great, you know?
You and your Diablo, man.
Yeah, Diablo, you know, new season, new treadmill going. So yeah, we'll see how that lasts.
You also celebrated your birthday not last week but the week before, right?
Well, it was not really celebration. It was more like work. Just
an average day, huh?
Work. Yeah, it was one of those days, man. Just not great.
Well, at least I still at least hope you had some fun.
Yeah. The days after, I would say, had fun. And my mother came over, ice cream, a nice day. Yeah, that kind of stuff, but not really like parties or anything. With friends, we had some cheese table, that basically bread and cheese, all kinds of cheese, not just one flavor. So that was cool. Yeah.
All right.
How was yours? What did you do?
Well, I recently picked up the PS1 Spider-Man game, so gonna be playing that. But I'm kind of waiting on getting Spider-Man. I'm kind of waiting on playing all the Spider-Man games until I get Spider-Man 3 for the PS3, because that's practically the last one I have for the PlayStation consoles. Then I'm going to be chugging through that series. Not going to be fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have some big plans for this channel once I finish college, which should be happening in a few weeks. So we'll be done soon.
You gotta look for a job.
Yeah. And then the real world's gonna kick my ass.
Yes. Yes. It's gonna be painful and glorious, but you will see the benefits.
The benefits of getting my ass kicked? Sure.
Yeah. You will see. You're finally an adult soon.
Yeah.
Yay!
Adulting, always fun.
Oh my god.
What do you say we get into these topics, though?
Well, besides topic, I just want to tell, like, look, where are you? We're looking for you.
Well, besides that topic, of course. But if he ever decides to wake up and see your messages, then hopefully he'll join them eventually. But I guess for now it's just gonna be a 2-man show.
Yeah. Sorry guys, sorry viewers. But at least it's us two, you know?
Yeah.
So the topics. Yeah. Which one you want to go into first? Because we got a couple.
You know what? I think we should go into the heavy one of the Assassin's Creed one.
Ouch. Right into... We're gonna step on tiptoeing. We're gonna step into a nail, I guess.
I mean, if you want tiptoe, go ahead.
There's no tiptoeing on this. It's unacceptable. That's just the first thing I want to say. It's unacceptable. First of all, the price is just insane. Same with like how Star Wars was priced. You got three different editions, and then you got the subscription, which they want you to go forward with the subscription because it's cheaper than anything else. So they don't want you to own the game, basically. Really simply said. But if you want to own the game, of course they want to do early access. Of course they want to do season pass, extra missions behind the paywall. So yeah, that's all the fun stuff. They got the trifecta again. This is like the worst gaming decision overall, I would say. Like, this is, I would call Ubisoft the worst company these days.
Okay, family, you just continue talking. I'm gonna mess with some audio because apparently they can't hear us, or apparently Dominic can't hear us that well.
What?
I don't know if my microphone. I don't know if my microphone settings changed. I thought I fixed that.
Oh yeah, I'm a little bit low.
Yeah. I might not hear you for a second, so just keep on giving your thoughts out real quick.
Yep, test.
There.
Yeah, okay. But no.
Okay, there we go. Okay, you should be louder now.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, difficulties, guys. It's been a while, so. But let's continue. So, first of all, I'll go again. So the price is unacceptable with what they have included into the different editions. Unacceptable. Same with Star Wars. They do exactly the same stuff. I don't see it getting any time better with Ubisoft. They will always go like, get to the subscription model. We want you to not own your games. And if you want to own the game, make sure you get the season pass, 3-day early access, and the ultimate pack and extra mission, right? So the extra mission is behind the paywall. Really fun. It's stupid. I don't understand the decisions they're making. It's a little bit pay to win as well.
It's not even the first. It's not even the only game they're doing it with. I think aren't they doing the same thing with Star Wars, but locking some missions behind the premium version?
Yeah, so it's gonna be a small mission, of course. Now they're doing the same thing. There's an extra mission available at launch if you buy the season pass, which you at least have to do the gold edition, which is 109 euros 99. So instead of 70, you're basically paying already 30 more, which is 40, actually, 40 more. So you're paying a lot of extra money for just getting the season pass with like, without that, you don't get extra mission, of course, so you're missing out. So FOMO is included as well. Fun.
Yeah, I'm not too big on the price point. Ubisoft's new prices have been getting absurd. Like who is going to pay $100 for just the side content? Like I get if you want to pay that much for like those collector's editions that come with like those like statues and stuff, but this isn't it. And it's dumb that they're charging almost $100.
Yeah, so I'll give you a good example. Another game that does exactly what it's supposed to do
Also,
is...
who's having surgery?
No. We're not talking about that.
Okay.
It's private, guys. Please keep it private. Keep that separate. Thank you. Basically, Baldur's Gate 3, whatever you can say about the game, that I still don't have the game at this point, right? You know I was gonna bring it up. Still to this day, I don't have the game. It's gonna launch, probably get shipped next week or the week after. They said at the end of May. I send a new mail. They still have problems. Even if you're in the US, you even have to wait longer. So, ouch. But basically, that game is $80 for 80 euros, right? 80 euros, you got everything. It's the deluxe edition. You even got physical stuff in it with a map and all that kind of stuff. That's how deluxe edition should be. That's the price I think I would pay for like a definitive edition of a game, right? But here we're talking about it's the launch of a game, right? It's not like physical stuff. it's all digital. Most of the stuff is behind the paywall anyway. That's more expensive, and some stuff is hidden from people that just want to purchase the main game, right? They need to pay extra, which is just, yeah, not great. And you need to have a internet connection even if you have the physical edition. So if you buy the disc, you're still screwed.
Yeah, and I think that they're still going with the internet connection thing where like, yeah, where even if you have it and it's digital, there's still the possibility that they could just take it away from you like they did the Crew.
Yeah, the Crew. Oh, another
yeah.
can of worms.
The thing I found interesting about this is that like the minute they release the prices, everyone focuses, of course, on the other thing that we're going to be talking about. So they kind of avoided the backlash for the prices. Do you think that was deliberate at all?
No, because they did the same with Star Wars. I think this is just a new model they want to go for, even though they will also have microtransactions in the game, like always, with like maps and stuff that you probably have to buy for like Helix points.
I really
like in
hope
the last games.
I really hope this doesn't become the norm, because Ubisoft has kind of set the trends for like what games do in terms of microtransactions, like especially for story games now.
Yeah. But basically Ubisoft is doing all the bad stuff we don't want to see. So calling EA like the worst company ever, I think we should shift that over to Ubisoft for sure. Like people are not seeing like they use every tactic in the book to try to let you buy the most expensive editions. And if you don't like that, go with the subscription, play a month or two, but don't own the game. And if you want to play it later, good luck. So yeah, then you're bound to a subscription, basically. And guess what? In a few months, they will have a new game coming out. And it's like, okay, play this in Ubisoft Plus. So yeah. I don't know. But besides that though, the other topic around this game, right? With a certain character, which is from a certain origin. I would tell you this. I think it could be interesting. I took more time to go in research mode about the characters in the game. And okay, I was really looking forward to just having the Japanese feudal age.
Dream Eater's asking if you could add some more volume to your mic because you're sounding quiet. I raised you up more than me, so you should have been loud. So it might be on your end.
I don't know.
Hold on, let me see if I could do something through Discord. I just have to turn you.
Yeah, I'm still pretty low, Kelly. Actually.
Okay, there we go. Now you should be louder.
Yeah, let's test it again. Test.
Oh god, that's a little too loud for OBS, but there we go. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's a little bit too loud. Yeah, it should be a little bit better. Yeah, but I'm literally next to my mic, like my mouth is against my mic. Yes.
There we go. Okay, yeah. They said too loud. There we go.
Okay. So thank you, Dream Eater, for saying that. Thank you. So yeah, I wanna say like this character, right? Yasuke, which we're talking about. People are saying, why a black character? Is like the first black character that came to Japan, which actually was a retainer under a certain lord in called Yobinobu or something. I don't know exactly the name. Sorry, don't blame me. But he was like a retainer, and some people are saying, yeah, it's a samurai. Some people say it's not samurai, which it's still a Ubisoft world. You will have the flavor of feudal Japan, which are they're always good in world building, right? Let's be honest. Like the worlds that they build are really cool.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at Dominic's reaction. I'm legally deaf now. I turned it down. God. You should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing is interesting because like I kind of read up on it. Like he was a real figure, but no one knows if he was actually like a samurai, supposedly.
Well, yeah, the wiki has been like changing a lot. I would say like the one person puts something down, the other person
Well,
reads.
that's the problem with Wikipedia. You can't really trust it. That's why
Yeah, you can trust it when it's edited by humans. Yeah, especially
that's a,
normal people, not paid.
yeah.
But basically, like when you look at the world itself, right? We're not like not only the character, but just the world. The world is always well done, really up to like how the back in the day was, right? Like the history behind it is really cool. And if they change the background of a character, right, I wouldn't mind it too much. I just hope the play style is good. We haven't seen any gameplay yet. We just saw a story. That's it.
Yeah.
The game is coming out in November, and we haven't seen gameplay.
Well, I think the thing that a lot of people are taking issue with is like the historical accuracy, because like I think a lot of
But
people
this
have
is
it.
historical.
No, yeah, no. It is, but I think people are taking issue with the fact that they're like of a black samurai, because Japan is mostly Asians. So
Okay,
I
but
think
there
that's
are other games where you have black characters that are samurai in it.
I'm just saying. I think that's where people are trying to attack it from. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I know he must have been a real character. He must have been a real person in Japan, but I think a lot of people are kind of like thinking like this ruins the historical accuracy, so they may not like it. But I as an Assassin's Creed player know that Assassin's Creed has always taken liberties with historical accuracy. I mean, they like Connor being responsible for the American Revolution, of course, isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, of course.
and then Leonardo DiCaprio inventing these weapons for assassins wasn't real either.
Yep.
So like for me, I kind of like don't understand like the historical accuracy argument, because like Assassin's Creed has never really tried to be 100% accurate. I mean, the worlds themselves are accurate in terms of like how they're made to look to match like
Yep.
back then, but that's always been it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know your history with Assassin's Creed. Like, where did you usually like see assassins?
Oh
Like,
man. I played every Assassin's Creed till now, right? I've seen all the different worlds they have to offer, including the latest one, Mirage, which was really cool. Um, I, my idea of like feudal Japan, what they do with the game, except I haven't seen gameplay, of course. So I cannot really judge it too much. It's only cutscenes that we saw, right? Like one giant trailer, and that's it, basically. That's all we have. And a little bit of background behind the two characters. That's it. That's the two videos that I saw, and that is all we have at the moment. But I think what they're doing is interesting enough. Maybe they could have used another character, but I think diversifying is not that bad after doing more research, and I think it could be interesting enough. But it's different. Maybe this is the reason why they did this, to get people talking about the game, so it has more publicity. Because bad publicity is still publicity. I mean, however you have it. I think they would have expected some backlash, but I think the game will sell whatever happens anyway. I mean, it's Ubisoft. We're talking about Assassin's Creed, and one of the most expected like games that they wanted the devs to make for a long time, since Assassin's Creed like Revelations, basically, right? After you got like the video basically with Ezio Auditore when he was like old, and basically came across the Japanese character, right? That helped him in his final hours. So yeah, that's basically a fan favorite, and now we're getting finally the game, so it will sell out anyway. It will basically be really well sold. Trust me.
I don't know if their game's gonna sell, because like they've been struggling to hit sales targets for a little bit now. I don't think Avatar actually hit the sales target they needed to.
Yeah, but we're talking about the flagship title, like basically Call of Duty for Ubisoft type deal here.
You see,
Assassin's Creed is
I
like
kind of don't
almost
think
every year.
I think it's kind of lost that, to be honest, especially with the last one that released.
Okay, but Valhalla, you remember that one?
No. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think this short has kind of like put Assassin's Creed in a bad place because it's really divided the fan base.
Also,
And-
Mirage was like a smaller game anyway. It was only $50.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't even that expensive. So it was a small game. They warned for it already. They said it up front, right? That it's going to be smaller than the normal titles. So we knew, right? And I don't think they expected too much of sales, even though they still wanted to make sales. I don't think they expected as much as Valhalla, from projections. But I think this one, they do expect a lot of sales. And I do think it's going to be a lot of sales. That's my opinion, of course.
Dominic is typing woke destroys video games. Now, I don't know how much you follow like the political like trend like that, like woke or anti woke, whatever. But I honestly think that whole thing has just practically saved Ubisoft from any more backlash from the actual prices, though. But I honestly don't think that the game's gonna sell like with how much like they're locking behind the paywall. I think that's the bigger issue that people should be focusing on.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I feel like the culture wars have kind of like taken away from like actual issues that like should be focused on. Like I think I don't know. I feel like Ubisoft knew that the character might have gotten backlash because I think they know that people wanted like an actual Japanese character, I think they probably knew that people would focus on the black character more than their prices.
Yeah, I think maybe it could be a strategic move, but I don't think they wouldn't like put so much work into it to basically that be the only cause for ignoring the price, basically, to have other things going around. I think there's other stuff going on behind the scenes. Could be woke, could be that they just wanted to have black character because otherwise there were no black characters in the game. Could be. We'll never know. But yeah, I think they wanted to tell an interesting story like Ubisoft always wants to do with all their Assassin's Creed games. But they could have picked other time periods, but I don't know if this is the most interesting they could have done.
No, I think the setting has more to do with them trying to play catch up because Ghost proved that Japan can be quite marketable for game setting. So yeah, and plus a lot of us older Assassin's Creed players have been wanting Assassin's Creed to go to either like China or Japan, seeing as they already did Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. Too late for the mainline series to go there. So all that was left was really Japan. But I think it's going to be an interesting setting. I just don't know like how they're going to handle the character, like since there's really not much information that's known right now about the person itself. So I don't know. Do you have faith in like them like in their writing currently? Really? Yeah. You see, I kind of lean the opposite because I kind of think they kind of dropped the ball with Valhalla, especially being labeled as Assassin's Creed, because they had because first of all, I don't think Vikings fit the personality of an assassin. So
yeah. So okay, yeah. From that perspective, I do see it being the case.
And plus, they also threw in like some weird magical elements related to like the Viking stuff. So it's kind of like it wasn't really Assassin's Creed, It was more like random Viking game than anything.
Yeah, but it was still like a good game. even though maybe not bleeding Assassin's Creed like the other games did. But also you could say the same about how Origins was and how like basically the whole new style they had, right? From Origins into Odyssey into the other game. Like those three games, you could not really say it's like standard Assassin's Creed style, right? Um, I wouldn't even classify Syndicate as a real Assassin's Creed. If you have to really think about it, right? I think the last Assassin's Creed was, well, I think they really diversified with Black Flag. From Black Flag, they are a lot of experimentation done, right? A lot of boats in that game. Then later on, we went to France, which was also a different kind of Assassin's Creed. But it's not Assassin's Creed in like how it was back in the day with, let's say, Ezio, right? That was way different.
Coon in the chat saying Black Flag was the last AC game.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think Syndicate was good in of itself. I think.
Oh boy.
Okay. Okay.
Let's talk. Why was Syndicate your best game? And I'll talk about mine.
No. I'm not saying it was the best AC game. I'm just saying it was a good AC game. I don't think it was anything amazing. I think I really do think that AC2 and Black Flag are peak Assassin's Creed, but I think Syndicate goes just beneath AC3, which most of the fans hate AC3 because Connor was just boring. He was just he was just really boring.
Yeah, I agree. It was not like the personality wasn't there.
And while I don't think Syndicate had great characters, I think it had like great combat and like just like some fun game mechanics overall, like with the grappling hook and everything. So that's why I kind of like don't think it's like the worst AC game.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the title of the worst definitely goes to AC Odyssey though.
Yeah, Odyssey is my favorite. What did you like so much about Odyssey then? What's your take on like the game?
Odyssey.
Why did you like it?
Why I didn't like it? Well,
no. Why did you like it? What's the thing that's like the best?
What about Black Flag?
No, you said Odyssey, right?
No, I said Odyssey was like probably my the worst AC game.
Oh, the worst. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't understand that correctly. I'm sorry. So what was bad about it?
Well, I had the same issue as Valhalla. Spartans aren't really assassins, so that got thrown out the window. And also the magical elements too that was like thrown in there.
Did you play the DLCs?
Also the thing about choosing the gender between the brother and the sister. As an Assassin's Creed fan, I know the lore, and the Animus isn't supposed to like have two different characters because it's supposed to follow one DNA strand, so one person, right? It doesn't follow two.
Yep. Yeah.
So the fact that they had two characters you could play as kind of destroys like the lore behind the Animus. So
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to think though, like even the written, right? How the characters were written, those two, right? The male was so much worse than the female, for some reason.
I heard about that. I didn't want to play. I didn't want to support Ubisoft because I was kind of like anti Ubisoft at that point because of especially what they did after Syndicate. Because okay, so I've told this story before, but I kind of was a fan of Syndicate because I liked where they were going with the story. They were teasing like they were going to bring back Desmond and Minerva after the ending of Assassin's Creed 3, right? So what happens after Ubisoft announced that they're going to take more time on Assassin's Creed developing it and trying to make it better? Well, when they did the push to Odyssey, they decided to just can what they had built up in Syndicate and just throw any potential that story had in the comic book which no one read.
Hmm.
So
I didn't know.
yeah, so that's why I kind of don't like really trust Ubisoft's current writing potential. I really don't know if they're gonna like stick like to having a good story for that new AC Shadow, because I think they're just gonna try to make something that just gets people to buy it, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. I had a different experience with Odyssey. For me, it's my favorite, except for Black Flag. Black Flag was excellent, but Odyssey was like creme de la creme when it comes to peak gameplay, right? Not just talking about, okay, Assassin's Creed. It's not really Assassin's Creed. A lot of sneaking around, a lot of stealth. I know. You could also go like blazing in and just kill everything when you're like high level and stuff because you have all these amazing skills. But I really loved Odyssey, especially DLCs. The Atlantis one was like peak storytelling. I loved it. If you never played it, you should give it a try. Cali, it's so good and so well done. I think you will be interested in that story because it really has to do with a lot of us what Assassin's Creed, like the ancestors and all that kind of stuff. The precursors, basically. I would say that. So I would really recommend doing the Atlantis DLC if you can. Okay. And the second DLC had to do with the Brotherhood and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you play. Did you play the DLCs? Let me ask that.
For which ones? For which?
For Odyssey.
No, because I told you I was taking my stance. I'm buying the games. So, all I practically have gone off of was like seeing like the story itself on YouTube. Someone else playing it. So, yeah, but I don't know. I just don't like how they're just like ruining the lore of Assassin's Creed, just with like the magic and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, basically the end of Atlantis is where basically the new game Valhalla starts, I would say.
Yeah.
So it is following up on each other. You will understand more about the character, basically, and why it's also in the new game in Valhalla.
Okay. I gotta address Adam there with the magic. The Apple of Eden wasn't really magic. It was more so based on science, since it was an invention. But
yeah,
I know most people mistake it for magic, but it really wasn't magic. It was more so an invention created by like the most advanced society. So it was more so based on science.
Yes.
Just humanity didn't know how the pieces of Eden really worked.
Yeah, and even the spear is actually part of that. That's why the spear have magic. But it's a tippler. Like they all have their own style, right? Both the staff that was at the end of like the Assassin's Creed, where you like go to Atlantis, right? That staff is also a particular kind of precursor magic. I do not call it magic because it's not magic, but how do you say it differently? They have their own like powers, basically. Yeah, powers. Yeah, the Isu weapons. Yes, that kind of stuff.
When I'm talking about magic, I don't really mean like the pieces of Eden themselves. I kind of was referring to like in Valhalla, how like there's like that magical wolf creatures.
Magical wolf creatures.
I forgot. It was probably like one of those like mini side missions that you can do. Like enemy. It's like an enemy wolf.
You mean not Garm? Wait, hold on. What's his name? Fenrir.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, but that's the lore. That's basically also in the like lore of Norwegian No,
No,
Norse
I
mythology.
get that, but it still goes against like Assassin's Creeds, you know, like that's more so like okay. I think like here's my viewpoint. Okay, Assassin's Creed, like almost everything is just like grounded, right? Nothing like no like besides the piece of eating, of course. But uh, I guess like it just like kind of just goes against like everything just being like just like just human, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're talking about a god realm here. And Fenrir was part of.
That's why I don't think it belongs in Assassin's Creed though.
I
Because
think it was a cool thing to add the gods into Assassin's Creed.
you see,
I think it's.
I think it could have done better if it wasn't Assassin's Creed, if it was its own game. That's just
Yeah,
my
I think
viewpoint.
they could basically branch off and make just games in historic timelines with fantasy elements. They would do
Yeah,
great. And not call it Assassin's Creed, but I think they just want to brand it Assassin's Creed, but give
because it
their own
makes
spin
money.
on it. Yeah, because it's a great name. It has movies, it has merchandise. It's a really big franchise. It's
Okay,
not just
but so
games anymore. It has everything.
but so did what's it called? So did Tom Clancy. The name Tom Clancy was a big seller, but now their games are just not selling well. Besides
I think
what's it
I
called?
got to.
I forgot what it's called.
Do you mean Splinter Cell? Do you mean the
No, not Splinter
other
Cell.
like
That series dead.
more?
Uh,
Yeah, that series dead, of course.
yeah, I mean the other one, the Rainbow Six. That's it. Yeah,
Mhm.
Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah,
Um,
Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, besides
That
that,
game
all
is
the
doing great, by the way.
yeah, but besides that one, all the other Tom Clancy games that they've had just kind of died.
They made 3 games of the Ghost Recon games, right? The new ones.
Yeah, we haven't had a new one in how long now?
Well, they have Heart something, Wildlands, and oh my god. Let's see. Let's see. Wildlands Breakpoint.
Want to join?
Hello.
Oh, look! Hey,
Look, you finally joined.
What happened to the schedule?
Schedule is 8 o'clock. No, we are already live for like 40 minutes. We'll talk about it after the show with the schedule.
Okay.
Let's just. How was your week? Let's just start with that. Let's get your opinions in here. Come on.
My week is still great. My week's been awesome. I'm still playing Stellar Blade.
still a booty, huh?
Pretty
Nice.
Yep.
Can you also put him louder, Kelly?
I think his mic is just like low because he's I'm at 100 in Discord.
Oh, he's on 200 with me. Jesus. Look, you need a stronger mic or get it a little bit boosted.
My mic's fine. Hold on. Let me see what's wrong here on Discord. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, we're fixing it, guys. Give us a minute. Well, at least Luke is back, he's back. Yay!
Three
missed him.
Musketeers are back.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Same.
Is my audio better now?
I'm just gonna raise you up in Discord myself. I think that should do it.
Good, 'cause
There we go. Okay,
Yeah.
that should do it. But anyways, yeah. So since you're here, me and Flamish have been talking about the Assassin's Creed debacle that's been going down. So
And franchises in general and what we think about the games and
So you want to give your thoughts about like the huge price hikes and and of course the drama going on with the black character?
the price hike is the real story here. The price hike, I think it points to a bigger, not issue, but just a bigger point. Everyone's been shitting on Game Pass, but not only did Sony follow the same model, but Ubisoft is now heavily going into that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And these companies, they know something we don't. there's a reason they're doing this, and I don't think they're losing money. So I think the price hike is really just a soft way of them trying to push people to the subscription. That's what I think that's what it's all about, in my opinion. They want everyone to pay the $18, which is easier to do in the moment, right? Than to pay the full 130 US dollars to get the full Assassin's Creed experience. So that's the real story, in my opinion. As for the Yasuke thing, oh my lord, I don't know what to say about the Yasuke thing. I think it's all been said at this point. It's all been said. Like, everyone is wrong here. The people saying this is this is inclusive is they're wrong, because clearly there's a lot of Japanese people that feel slighted by this, right?
Yeah,
The
understand.
people that are also are triggered because it's a black man, they're also wrong. So everyone really is wrong in this one, and all we can do is learn from this situation, because it's all bad, all of it.
Mm.
I was posing the idea that Ubisoft probably knew that this character would get backlash, and just chose it to throw this out alongside with the price announcement, so they can avoid the backlash for the prices.
I think it's also just because they wanted to make it more interesting, because of what the character actually was in history. But we'll see. Let's hope they make a great story out of it. That's my main thing. Like, if the gameplay and the story is good, I'm happy.
Yeah, so do you think that they're going to make a good game out of this, Loke, or no faith?
It's Ubisoft. When was the last time Ubisoft made a good game? In my personal, people that love Ubisoft games, in my personal opinion, the last time they made an actual good game for me was Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I think the first or the second one with the ships. That was the last time.
Black Flag.
Everything else has been like full of holes, or like super boring, generic, but actually just good, and you couldn't stop playing it until you were done. That was the last time. That was the very last time. Everything else, for me at least, has been just ugh. And so based off of their recent past performance, this is probably going to be another bad one. I'm going to get it, obviously, because I'm a Mozambican and I've never played as a Mozambican character myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely going to get it. But I'm not going to lie to myself and say that I have like real hopes for this. This is going to be the usual Ubisoft slop. There's going to be 1,000 markers on the map. There's going to be 50,000 little things for you to collect. The story is going to drag along and it's going to be boring. It's just Valhalla with the Japanese skin on it, essentially. That's all it's going to be, and I'm at peace with that.
Okay. Now, Dominic in chat actually raises a fair point. What did you think about Immortals Phoenix Rising?
Oh, I didn't enjoy it. It was okay. Wasn't great. My son loved it because they had the Portuguese dub. So it's for people that don't speak English, you just take it for granted that everything comes in English or in a language that you don't have to read subtitles. But my youngest, for example, he's like me. He loves knowing why he's doing what he's doing. So subtitles kind of suck, especially for kids. And I don't like it when they sit too close to the television. So he can't depend on like subtitles to understand what's happening in the game or why he's doing what he's doing. Immortals Phoenix Rising, I specifically remember he was very excited for, because as soon as he started it up, he chose Portuguese, and although the whole menu was in Portuguese, but the voice acting was also in Portuguese. So
Yep.
that's the one thing I think about when I think about it about that game. Me personally, it was whatever. I don't think it was awesome, but I don't think it was terrible. I didn't finish it. Obviously, something else better rocked up, and I moved on.
Also, real quick, Dream Eater seems to like your accent, Loke. You have a fan.
Who likes
Uh,
my accent?
Dream Eater in the chat.
Dream Eater. Dream Eater. I am Mozambican. I grew up between Zimbabwe, South Africa, and a little bit of the UK. So that's where I got my accent. It's lots of little things.
By the way, Luke, actually, Valhalla also have Portuguese subtitles and language as well. And I think the new one will probably have the same languages. We can't find it yet, but I
Awesome. Those little touches
Oh,
are
wait.
nice.
Yeah, Portuguese. So they will have Portuguese in interface, audio, and subtitles. Yes. You can find it on the website.
Well, I don't
That's
speak
awesome.
Portuguese, so I'm just gonna have it in basic English.
Yeah, your son will have a fun time.
What about French? You don't speak French?
No, I only
French
speak.
is
I only speak
also-
Spanish and I only speak Spanish and English.
Oh, there we go. Spanish. So you can put it in Spanish. You okay? You know what? For people for all the times that we give Ubisoft a lot of rubbish, we need to give them their roses or their flowers when it comes to accessibility. They actually care about accessibility. If I'm not mistaken, I think Origins has like colorblind mode or something like that. They actually care about getting people to play that usually wouldn't be able to play their game or to play games at all. So
Yeah, I
language
think
thing
they
is-
just would they not just weigh up the amount of users that gives them extra to pay more subscriptions at this point?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's the exchange, right? And it's fair.
Yeah.
The exchange is I give you money, and you give me a service that makes me feel valued. So it's not even about talking, like what's their real interest. Yeah, their interest, like every other company, is to make money off of us. But if they show that they actually care about making it easier for us to consume whatever it is they're selling, that should be a good thing. The same way that them giving us a crazy pricing model, we don't forgive them for that, right? We rake them over the coals for that. So
Yeah.
when they do something good, we need to do the exact same thing and be consistent.
Like with Helldivers.
Exactly.
Yes.
Put on
Helldivers. We can put that in the topics as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to, sure.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting what happened there.
I guess we could go. You just want to get through that right now, then we can lead into
Yeah.
that topic. All right.
Why
sure.
not? I mean, we're leading into it.
Yeah, sure, fine. I was
Open
gonna,
up the topic.
I wasn't originally gonna plan it, but okay, sure. Yeah, the whole debacle with Sony and Helldivers was weird. Just them wanting to delist the game from several countries just because they didn't support PSN. Like, huh?
100.
Yeah, something like that. I just don't understand it because they want their multiplayer games to do great, but yet they practically handicapped themselves. It just didn't make any sense.
Not really, because they're not really stressed about the games doing great. Because we have to remember what the root function of these companies are. It's to make money, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the trap that Sony and Microsoft are in right now, and most corporations that have stockholders and investors and whatever, is that they need to always make more money this year than they made last year. So even if they're putting out a profit, can you imagine, Flemish, if you made a profit of $1 million this year with your company, right? You'd be happy.
Mm.
If
Yeah, of
next
course.
year you also made $1 million, would you be less happy?
No, I would still be happy. Jesus.
Exactly. But with these investment companies, right? The stock market, etc., stakeholders, shareholders,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that happens, that's bad. You need to make $1,001 next year. And then the year after that, you need to make $1,002, etc., etc., etc. So the reason why Sony is delisting the games from those spaces is because they want to focus on areas. I'm not saying this is a good thing or a good decision on their part, but this is the main reason they're doing it is because they want to focus on areas that can get into PSN, and then they can report more numbers for their shareholders,
Yeah.
because
But
the shareholders are just like the guys at Netflix. They
but here's
want
but
to
here's
know
here here's the
how
thing
to
though.
know.
Don't you think that kind of collides with like their like what they wanted to do with this whole big multiplayer push, which was practically create the next big Fortnite or Call of Duty type of game, you know? And for that, you need as
Yeah,
many players as possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
with the current rate, even removing the countries, the 177 countries, even removing those, their numbers are still very high. Because the truth is, and this is a hard pill for people like me to swallow because I live in Mozambique, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, the majority of the player base that's going to do damage, that's going to really make you a millionaire or a billionaire, is in the US, Western Europe, and Japan.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And China, obviously. That's it. Everyone else, it's a less bankable space in terms of how many people are going to hop on to your game, how consistently will they hop on, and how consistently will they engage in microtransactions. Because as much as I would like to have more of a focus on my country, for example, my middle class in Mozambique doesn't have the luxury of throwing around $10, $20, $30 every day. Whereas in the US and Western Europe and most of Asia, that's doable. So from their point of view, it's fine to throw all of us away, or like the rest of those countries away. Because if you look at those countries, Cali, I don't know if you have the list up, but if you can get the list up and you look at those countries objectively, like get everyone's feelings out of it.
no, no,
Look at the list of
I seen some of the countries on some of those lists that were posted on Twitter, and yeah, I even know like some of those places weren't going to make them money, like because of how
yeah,
little.
let's stop being politically correct. If you want to be politically correct, then you have to say, "Oh no, all countries are equal." But if you're just 100%
I'm just coming at this from a business standpoint because like you'd think that like having those numbers would just be like a safe bet to have, you know, just in case like it doesn't work out in other countries, or you know, just in case like people decide to like just leave the game.
no, it's not a safe bet because it costs money to keep PSN up in those areas.
Yeah, but with Steam, you didn't really need that though. That's the kind of been the thing. He didn't like the game was working perfectly fine for Sony like without PSN, and I think they would have just been making money from or passive money from the microtransactions they had.
Yeah.
Mm. But there's always an opportunity to make more, and then to force people like me, for example, to use a VPN to say that I'm in the US to then sign into PSN,
To play the
and
game.
then and then either way they get what they want.
Mm. Even though you could get banned when you do that, though, they would not like they do not allow that kind of stuff. So they could have banned you for that. if you did that, right?
I'm still waiting to be banned. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I mean, they will not ban you for it. They will not specifically find you, right? That you did that and ban you, but it is a bannable offense to actually use a VPN on and play from a country you're not residing in.
But what are we supposed to do? Like, for example, I have a PlayStation 5, but the machine won't take my credit card or my debit card or my cash card or any card that I want to put in there.
Yeah.
Because because even though and this is another thing that pisses me off, it forced on the list of countries when you first turn on the PS5, Mozambique is not an option. Like, no country besides South Africa is an option. Only South Africa is the option. So they're essentially saying that we don't want money from anyone that's not in South Africa.
Yeah, maybe they just.
So I lied because I've already made the investment. I paid $1,000 for my PS5. That's how much they cost at the time. Right?
Jesus.
So obviously I need to pick an option because I can't take it back, right? So I pick South Africa, and then when I put in the card details, it won't accept because obviously the machine can tell where I'm at. So now I'm forced to go to these dodgy sites to get PlayStation vouchers and risk my credit card details, my debit card details, etc. Whereas on Xbox, it also says only South Africa, but on Xbox, when you pick South Africa, if you put in your card details wherever you are in South Africa, in Africa, the machine registers your card and everything just works. Obviously, it knows you're not in South Africa, but it still works. So PlayStation is very aggressive about the whole PSN thing, and way more aggressive than Xbox. Sorry for derailing this whole subject.
No, you're good. You're good. That's why I kind of thought this whole thing was interesting from a business standpoint, because like there's so many different angles to look at it.
Yeah. So for them, when they look at us, they just think there's not enough. I'm going to keep bringing it back to Mozambique. There's not enough Mozambicans to justify the investment of the physical and digital infrastructure required to not just create space, but maintain the space for Mozambicans to make the purchase. For them, it's not worth it. So
yeah.
I just felt like I just felt they could have just let it be, just let Steam just handle it, because like there wasn't an issue before when PSN wasn't required.
Would have been nice.
Yeah, definitely. You have anything else to say, Flamish?
No, basically said everything that I agree with and how I think about the stuff. Like, just engagement numbers have to go up for the shareholders, that type of deal. But even though they would have a PSN, like just the numbers wouldn't like mean extra sales or anything else for PSN on when the game is just only the game, right? I mean, maybe it gives a step towards other stuff on PSN, but yeah, just engagement numbers. We're all numbers here. Say when you're on the job, you're just a number. In video games and companies, you're just a number. Your data they can sell. That's it.
Nothing else.
Nothing but a number.
Yep.
All right. I guess we could transition into the next topic I had, which was gaming studios being shut down because, Xbox, of course, had to shut down studios recently. And as part of the whole industry, everyone's just closing down studios. So, I don't know. I feel like the gaming industry's kind of been in a rut recently. And so we're just seeing these layoffs as a result of it. Even to studios that don't deserve it.
I don't agree. I don't agree it has to do with a rut. I think it's just bad practices, how they go about it. I'm gonna bring up the Baldur's Gate devs, Larian Studios again, because they have a really good strategy. They don't just hire staff to crunch, right, and get the game out, and then have the staff like go again to find a new job. They hire staff. They hire them with projects in mind, new projects after that already. They have everything planned. They need so many staff members, but we don't need like more to get like this game faster out, right? They can sustain themselves pretty well, and they just want to see that across the industry. So to have like 1,000 people hired for one game for 1 year, basically the game is coming out, right? You crunch, then after the year, basically let go of like most of those people. You're losing a lot of talent, right? That's also one of the things. We're losing a lot of talent when we close down like studios, when we stop, like we fire people like that. This happened with Blizzard as well. A lot of the Blizzard game that came out, all the good talent is gone. We're just left over. So that's what happened as well. That's why Blizzard became like really bad at making games overall, right? Diablo's getting there again, Diablo 4, but we'll get eventually. It's like a slow train. But yeah, this is what happens, right? And it should be different. It shouldn't be like this. Just bad management. There could be way better.
Yeah, I think COVID is the one that got everyone, that lied
Yes.
to everyone.
Yeah, also the return
numbers
to offices.
Yeah, the numbers skyrocketed. Everyone, if we were still in the middle of a pandemic, probably the three of us would be employed by one of these big companies.
Imagine.
There was so much work during COVID, and for some reason, like it's almost like they don't have analysts there to tell them, guys, this is not sustainable. We need to change the model because eventually people will go back to normal, and when that happens, it's all gonna fall apart. But no one did that. No one thought about that, and here we are.
Yeah, most people
I
were
think that's what
accustomed to
the
sitting
parents
at home. Right,
Yeah.
look?
I don't think
Most people were.
I don't think.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think most people just were accustomed to sitting at home, and then they had to go back, and they were like overseas, so they couldn't, like, they had to move if they want to keep the job and stuff. That was one of the things that happened. So they were hired from other places and had to actually go live there or search for another job. That was like the worst.
Yeah, man.
Like
That
I said,
was-
bad
that was
management.
not- Yeah. So I don't think everything's falling apart. I think I think the industry is just course correcting. It's going back to what it was, essentially, which is it's going to continue to grow. But first it needs to go back to what it was before, and then it'll start growing in the 2 to 5% increments that it already was on.
I do not fully agree with this, because you do see a lot of hiring sprees towards like development, right? That they hire always like a lot of talent, a lot of people, and then towards the end they always seem to let go of people when the games are finished, because they don't need the
Yeah.
large amount of people. They want to push out the product as soon as possible, and they're like just offsetting, like, how much would this cost to get the game out faster? Okay, we need to hire this many people more, and then afterwards they just don't plan new projects where they need this amount of people. So they screw themselves over. They screw over the developers that were having basically there, that were working there, and now that talent needs to go somewhere else. So does anyone know what Dominic is saying with the Bungie scam with Disney?
Nope.
This?
DLC?
Biggest scam with the DLCs.
Maybe he's talking about Second Life, because I know that was a big controversy with how that was
Oh.
released.
That was not great.
Like the Bungie scam with Destiny, biggest scam
Yeah,
ever with DLCs.
let me.
Maybe I'm wrong here, but if I remember correctly, Bungie did sell DLC. People bought the DLCs, and then when the new DLCs came out a couple of years later, they took the old DLCs away. If I'm not mistaken, that's what happened. Dominic, please tell me if I'm wrong.
They fired a lot of people and deleted weapons and stuff.
Yeah, essentially, you lost everything. You paid for DLC, and then they took it away.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's.
Oh yeah, was it not also when like the game got revised, all the DLC was basically pointless?
Yeah,
In Destiny 2, like Curse of Osiris. Yeah, I still remember. Like, I got the game. You got like this cool like wave-based stuff where you could go into the pyramid and do all this kind of stuff. And they revised the whole game, and all the DLCs were basically useless.
yeah.
And the latest DLC where you had to buy extra for the dungeons. I think I remember that, but I haven't played
Yeah, some on
the
Reddit.
game in a long
Can I
time.
can I read can I read the comment on Reddit?
Yeah.
Someone posted this 4 years ago. Said what Bungie is doing is unprecedented, and it's like if someone and came to my house and took my physical copy of Destiny 2 and said that I don't own this anymore. I paid for Destiny 2 and the season passes, and now Bungie is going to vault it so they can release more DLC. This is a dangerous, slippery slope that's just as bad as ever, Eververse. We paid for these contents, and even if it's outdated, I still want to play it if I choose not to buy the new expansions. Cutting almost all of the year one planted and content pushes you to buy new DLC, which I don't want to be forced to do. Wow. So there you go. There you go.
Well,
You
send me
own-
the video on.
nothing.
Sorry.
That's
No, I just want to ask him to send a video on DM. Dominic, I have you on DM. Send it to me because I don't think you can put links in chat. I'm not sure if YouTube allows that.
I think you can.
You should be
As
able to my
a-
chat. It's kind of more.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of more. If a channel allows it.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it was also like baffling what they did with like the season passes afterwards. Like you had the DLCs, and they had like this season you need to pay extra. Like you need to pay this amount to get like seasonal track, and then they put that in the game, which was also horrible as well. For extra guns or something, I don't know exactly anymore. There's been a lot of controversy
Oh.
with the
Dominic.
Bungie.
How many hours in Destiny do you have? Because you don't sound like someone that saw an injustice and you're talking about it. You sound like someone that really like invested in the brand, and then they
Yes.
screwed you.
Yes, I have all the DLCs. I do have a fair like 100 plus hours in the game
Oh my God,
over the
1,000
course
hours.
of the whole game, and Dominic has like close to 1,000.
Damn.
Yeah, he went hard.
That's beyond hard, dude. 1,000. I'm impressed.
Well, I mean, it's an RPG, like shooting RPG, like your Borderlands, and that kind of stuff. You can play forever.
I guess the only game that I've consistently put in like 1,000-ish hours into is Tekken. That's all.
Ah. Yeah. You got anything to say, Kelly?
Not about the Bungie stuff or anything like that, but I think this kind of trends are just becoming more common because they just want more money, and these corporations are just money hungry at this point, so they just might as well just do anything, just fire anybody they don't need just to save costs. So
Yeah.
I think Bungie's kind of at a point where they have to fire people. So if like one of their DLCs fail and they're not making money, Sony might just come in and kick all their CEOs out, take over. So I don't know, that whole Bungie thing's complicated. Although I don't know if you guys saw, but I guess recently Bungie CEO left Bungie and went to the head of one of Sony's departments. Oh, interesting how that happened. Huh?
Oh,
He went where? Hello?
Oh, what?
yeah. Where did he go?
What?
You were the one who's talking about some CEO that went somewhere.
Oh, I honestly can't remember his name. All I know, I think he was like the CEO of like the microtransactions part, like the monetization, I believe.
Why the hell?
Yeah. So I think whatever Sony might be planning might be for monetization purposes.
This is weird. There. Now the link should work. Everybody wants to have it. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's about all the stories I want to cover, though. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Flamish or Luke.
I'm good. Just really having fun with Stellar Blade, and I'm trying to figure out how to beat it. Well, I'm close to beating it, but I'm trying to finish all the fishing missions. So,
Fishing. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a very nice fishing mechanic. But
How does-
I'm missing two specific fish, and I don't know where to get them. I don't even know what their names are. Nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Because Tuesday, Hellblade comes out.
Right.
Yes, I forgot about that completely. Hellblade is coming out this week.
Yeah, there
I
you
talked
go.
about it last
Microsoft's
week,
lack of
that's my friend.
marketing.
Yeah, there's no marketing whatsoever. The game was like huge last year, right? Or a couple of years ago, and now no one talks about it. It's gonna be
Listen,
stealth released at this point.
Me personally, I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing the Hellblade. I've seen many ads. I'm done with the ads. Right now, I just want to play the game.
Yes.
If you guys feel like there's a need for more marketing, hey man, we definitely disagree on that one. Because
Well, they could at least say like Hellblade out next week, like a really small, like 5-second commercial or something, or 10 seconds. But nothing. Right?
Again, me personally, I'm good, dude.
Okay. I mean, the first one was like critically acclaimed, so I wish that they just did something with the second one now at this point when it's about to come out. But maybe it's a ruse. Maybe it's just not coming out yet, and it's gonna be delayed the last moment.
What?
I'm joking. I'm gonna enjoy it for sure. So, are you gonna play, Kelly? Kelly?
You're muted, Kelly.
No, I'm not muted.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
No, I was just listening. I was waiting for you guys to answer. We could do the outros, but yeah,
Outros.
yeah, can't forget the outros. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being on again, and Sorry, look for waking you up on short notice. Yeah, well,
What happened? Okay, we're going to talk about that.
yeah, we'll talk about that
After the
off
show.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
but
you can find me on Twitter. For some reason, my Twitter account, I don't know if it's locked or blocked or whatever, but I did post something about Temu. I posted something about Temu on Friday, right? Saying
Mhm.
that supporting slave labor and whatever in China. And then suddenly I don't have access to my Twitter anymore. So,
Okay.
but I'm
Weird.
hoping that this has nothing to do with that. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It's LLOUCK7, and on TSWS Gaming. Actually, I'm going to do my podcast in about 1 hour, 2 hours. Flemish, if you're free, feel free to come through.
Okay. I will.
All right.
All right, that's my outro. Oh yeah,
Right
also
here.
you can find me here every 2 to 3 weeks with Callie and Flemish.
Yes. And hopefully now with the
Yes.
fixed schedule.
Yes, every 2 weeks.
Get that
Come on,
down,
Kelly.
guys.
Yeah. No. I mean like fixed schedule for you guys. Like you guys know when we'll actually do the live streams.
That's good.
Yeah.
Love it. Good.
Yeah. Your turn, Flemish.
Yeah, so basically you can find me here. That's it.
No more
That's
Twitch.
it. Just no, nothing. I've been not doing Twitch for a while. Just it wasn't worth it anymore. Just enjoying gaming again as normal gamer. More hardcore than anything. Playing a lot of games. Maybe I'll just do it one day again. Just no effort in it yet. So we'll see. Maybe at some point. You,
Yeah.
Kelly?
Well, you guys can find me here on my own channel. Of course, you guys know that. And and I'm gonna be returning back next week with the Gamer Couch Club. Got a specific guest in mind, so stay tuned for that. I'll be announcing it later this coming week. So yeah. And also I brought back Extinction Level Gaming. So might do another episode next Monday. So yeah. So stay tuned for my new shows. So currently running 3 shows on all cylinders. Oh, fine. Yep.
Don't get overworked, Kelly.
No, I know. That's why I'm not doing these shows like week to week, like back to back. You know.
Yeah, that would be mental. No, that's good. Okay.
All right. Well, yeah. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend and have a good rest of the week. And see you guys soon. Peace.
Bye, guys.